Alright, here we go again. Another video, completely unscripted, completely, I was gonna say off the books, but that's not right because this will be published, which makes it not off script. There you go. So, alright. This is right after the video I just did about make Smite better than it currently is again. Uh, go check that out. I'll post that in the description below. If you want to check that out, it's like a 20-minute video. Beside the point, this video has nothing to do on video games actually, other than what I just currently said. This video will be discussing something a little known TV show. It's not it's not that popular or anything. Not many people know about it. It's pretty. Uh, it's Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't know if you guys have heard of it before or anything. It's a pretty obscure. Okay, minus all the bullshit. So we're talking about Avatar. Um, Specifically firebending and what it actually is. Like not real world actually, but like in the show. They don't they don't describe it as this purposefully, but they do. This is literally, we're talking about literally what firebending is, the power of firebending, how it works. Because I love Avatar: The Last Airbender, and if you don't, get out of my platform. But come by on Twitch where I'll stream Smite. Okay. So right. Let's first talk about the first time we see firebending. It's Iroh teaching Zuko. First episode, he's all like, the breath and past the muscle becomes fire, right? Yeah, cool. So we know that power and firebending comes from the breath, right? Not the muscles. We also know that firebenders draw their power from the sun. The more intense the sun, the more powerful their firebending is. And that's evident. You can see that in how at nighttime waterbenders are actually stronger because the moon is out and they draw their power from the moon. The sun is not out, so the firebending is weaker. And then during the day, their firebending will be stronger than waterbenders because the moon is not out and the sun is. So it's evident in that. It's also evident how the comet gives them the power of 100 suns, and that's really just a relative term. I don't know if that's really scaled up to 100, but I'm no mathematician. I just do programming and play video games. So we're gonna kind of talk about. Let's talk about the comet. Why does the comet give them more power? Why does it give them more power? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's just this object. First of all, how when the reason there are fire around comets in the first place, it's It's the it's produced by the friction of a comet going through the atmosphere of Earth. It's pushing all the air particles out of the way and it's heating up. That's how the fire's produced. But the fire is also, it's like the result of, from that friction, it's burning up. So honestly, when you see a comet that's burning up like that, it shouldn't be one of those comments that's, yeah, it comes around every this many years. No, if it enters the Earth's atmosphere, that's the last time you're going to see it. It's either going to kill you or go away. Like, or hit the ground. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to kill you. But, so, that's always just kind of been like a thing for me. Like, animation, cool, whatever. We'll just let that go. It makes for some pretty skies in the show, so it's whatever. But scientifically speaking, it's like why it literally does the same thing that the ball of water does in the opening of the live action movie, where it's losing a bunch of water, but it's not getting smaller, it's staying the same size. That's exactly what the comet is doing at the end of the show in the animation. But that's beside the point. Realistically, though, why does it empower the firebenders? Why does it give them more power? So, firebending is really energy bending. It's harnessing energy and guiding it. That is what firebending is, right? Iroh talks about how when he's trying to teach Zuko lightning bending, that it's really just like positive energy and negative energy. You separate them, and then when they collide again, they produce lightning, and you are nothing but its guide, right? Then you have John, the deserter, right? He kind of says the same thing about just regular fire, and this is why it makes sense that lightning bending, the way that they describe it, is an advanced form of firebending. It makes sense because, sorry, had an itch, because even like firebending in itself is simply just guiding the energy of the fire. It Firebending is just energy bending. Now, energy bending is not to be mistaken with, I think it's actually called spirit bending that Aang does with the thing in the show, right? Um, that's spirit bending. It might be referenced as energy bending sometimes, but I'm not talking spiritual energy or whatever. I mean like the physical energy of the body and of the world and like heat energy. That's what I'm talking about. So right, breath in the body. Uh, because of having watched Avatar, right, and being a little kid and wishing that I could produce fire because that'd be dope. Um, as a kid, I sort of did a little experiment with myself, right? I go outside, I wait for the bus in the morning for school, and it's cold, right? Cold, you're like, oh, put a jacket on. You're like, oh my god, it's freezing. But right, the inner fire that firebenders have, you can see Zuko at the North Pole. He like breathes and like blows, and he gets a little bit warmer. He stops shivering, right? I didn't do that exactly because I can't breathe fire, but if you are cold and you legit relax your body and take a deep breath and breathe out, you will feel warm. Not like, oh yeah, I don't need to wear a jacket or anything anymore, but like you will your core will feel like it melts away cold for a few seconds and it will be warm. It does that. I've done it many times. Just don't ask me to go into detail on it, but that's how that works. Okay, so breath in the body, taking those kinds of breath, can at least produce heat for the body. Again, I don't know how, but something happens. Your body feels like it's warmer at the very least. Uh, in the show itself, though, right, breath is the source of the fire. They somehow breathe in and then they collect chi in their body and it boom produces fire, but they're still guiding that fire. John says fire is alive, it breathes, it grows, right? Without a bender, a rock will not throw itself. Um, and so yeah, like fire bending is the same as lightning bending. Like they can produce the fire, they can produce the lightning, but they aren't bending it to their will, they're simply guiding it along. That's it. It's energy bending. Now, this whole discussion comes from a video that I saw actually today where they were like the 20 mysteries that are left unsolved in Avatar or whatever. And number 14, they were counting down. I didn't even watch the full thing, but number 14 was talking about the comet and wondering why does it empower the firebenders, because it doesn't actually produce heat itself. It doesn't, like they say how firebenders gain their power from the sun, and in a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse, in a solar eclipse, they lose their ability to firebend. Uh, so they say like the source of their power, of their bending, is literally a star in the sky. So why does the comet give them more firepower? And then they also ask, like, because they're like, a comet really is nothing but like ice and dust in space or something like that. So like, if anything, it would make more sense if a comet, because of what it's made out of, empowered waterbenders. But no, they're still wrong. Because what's empowering the firebenders, though again it should be burning up and disappearing, but that doesn't happen because animation. What's empowering the firebenders isn't the comet itself, but the energy that is being produced from the comet having friction in the atmosphere, right? I know I sound like a total nerd in this video, and I don't care. This is what I'm talking about. But yeah, so it's the friction in the atmosphere with the comet that's producing the flames. That energy is what is being harnessed by the firebenders to give them more energy for firebending to produce more flame. That's what's happening. So like I kind of talk about, or I kind of went into depth because I commented this on the video. Right? They were like, "Oh, okay, so you're saying that whenever the sun is blocked by the moon, firebenders lose the ability to firebend, right?" Um, so if that's what happens, right? Whenever the sun is blocked, firebenders can't bend. So why don't they lose the ability to firebend at night? It's only weaker at night. Why don't they entirely lose the ability when the sun is blocked by the entire planet? Well, I'll tell you. Because it's not the heat of the sun, which technically still can be felt from the earth. The earth well shit, there's that too. The earth radiates heat itself. Um but also gains most of that heat from the fact that it's in the solar system with the sun. Beside the point. But like whenever it's nighttime, right? The moon is out normally. The moon is out. And when the moon is out, it's reflecting the light of the sun. Light is energy as well. It can be converted into energy, like all this stuff, right? Like the sun produces not only heat, but it produces light. Um, and the moon reflects that. So, scientifically speaking, I have no idea, so don't ask. But like the light is being reflected off of the moon. It's like secondhand sun energy, basically. So, and that's why at night they can still firebend, it's just weaker because they're still receiving that sunlight or sun energy, whatever you want to call it, but it's weaker. Um, yeah, I just find it really interesting that literally fire bending itself is actually just energy bending in the but to specifically things that have heat. It is the ability to control heat and energy because I mean think about this, lightning even has a certain temperature to it and it's hot. It's lightning is hot. Um I think some heat lightning or whatever it's called can reach temperatures 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun, right? Then you also have the moment where when Avatar Roku's battling the volcano, Sozin, Firelord Sozin comes to help him out, right? And he starts bending the steam of the volcano and it starts cooling it down. He's literally taking the heat from the lava, from the earth, and he's guiding it away. He is in fact steam bending in a way that doesn't make sense because steam is like the gaseous form of water, and steam even still has water in it, right? Like you'd be like, well, you should be able to water bend that, or that's like cloud bending or whatever. But the reason he's able to do that is because steam has the energy of heat in it. Majority, like steam is hot. They're guiding the heat energy from the steam, or he is guiding the heat energy from the steam. Um, I remember what my third video is going to be about now. It'll be another avatar bending thing. But yeah, so like fire, heat, energy, they're guiding it along, right? It lives and breathes and grows by itself. The bender basically only guides it. He doesn't control it entirely, right? Then you have lightning, same thing. It has heat, it's an energy, and nothing but guiding it along. And the source of all of this energy, or the source of firebending itself, is energy itself. That's it. It is energy. Primarily, as evidence would show, it's heat energy. So, uh, I just find that really interesting because, like, you can really it links together with like almost like real world science. Like yeah, with the way that they describe how the bending works for firebending, like logically speaking, all this stuff goes together. It works. And so that's pretty neat. I like that. It's cool. Um if you could be any element like bender, would it be fire, air, water, or earth? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, see you in the next video.